Day one.
Here
we are. Months in the making. We made it to this place. We're going to try something a little bit new on this show, and we hope that you're here for the long haul and you'll join us for the ride.
We're calling it Breaking the News. It's not just a tagline. It's actually going to be our mission. Is it still news? Yes. But on this show, you get to decide what's the news. We're going to be talking about what you're talking about, breaking down the stories in a way that a regular newscast just can't.
You know, sometimes it's going to be serious. Sometimes we're going to laugh. But that's how life goes. And then there's nothing more real and painful, and for some, downright sad, all three, than the end to the Vikings season.
We get it. It was a complete shock. A Ronda Rousey punch to the gut. But after we all started getting the feeling back in our face, well, that's when the mean tweets started flying. And we're not talking about like, hey, you're a loser, way to miss, those sorts of stingers. We're talking about full-on death threats.
You know, just straight up nastiness out there. It was gross. I literally had to go offline. It was so bad. Dave Schwartz, you know, you kind of take this on the front end. You're covering the Vikings game yesterday. You see what's going on social, and you hear it.
We forget sometimes that there are people behind the mask, that there are human beings there. And I guess I just got tired of people telling me how much Blair Walsh sucked.
Yeah.
And how terrible they were and how they could make that field goal, no problem, in their backyard, on their field, in the snow, with no one rushing them and not 55,000 people watching them. But they could kick that field goal. So they felt the need to come and say something. And I guess I just got tired of it.
Well, and Blair Walsh is a person behind all that. And you actually are the only one that got to talk one-on-one with him about this, right?
And it says a lot about Blair Walsh that all I had to do was ask and say, hey, we have a show tonight. We'd love to hear your side of the story. You don't have to do it. Full disclosure, I gave him many outs. I said, if you have somewhere else to be or something else you want to do, or you feel you've already done your obligation, then you don't have to do this. But he decided to anyway. And, you know, Blair Walsh made 3 of 4 field goals yesterday, including 2 from over 40 yards, but it's the one that he missed that everyone is talking about. And today he talked to me about everyone who was talking to him.
27-yard attempt. Jeff Locke is the holder.
How do you balance listening to the support? Because I know you've heard from a lot of people in the league today.
And the kick is no good!
With the haters, because certainly they're out there. If you want to look, you don't have to look far to find them.
The haters aren't important. It's not, you know, the type of people who are going to say those mean and hateful things are not the type of people you want to associate with anyway.
No good, not even close.
I will say that the overwhelmingly positive reaction I've gotten and the positive support I've gotten is, it's heartwarming, and I can't believe that, people are as kind as they can be and as nice as they can be. And the messages you have to really lean on are the ones from your family and friends and the people who know you the best.
Let's look at these laces.
How do you get conditioned to this life? It is not easy being a kicker in the National Football League.
You know what? Being an NFL player and being highly compensated as an NFL player, you have to take all this. It's part of your job description. If you want to play in this league, you have to know that these moments are, they're out there.
Unbelievable.
We're one of the few jobs in, America or the world where you're on public television to be scrutinized every week, but it's part of it.
Have you watched the kick yet? And if not, when will you?
No, I'm not sure if I ever will. I don't like watching my misses when they happen in practice, let alone in the game. So, this one I definitely won't want to watch. I'll probably have to watch it one time so I know what I did wrong and then move on from it.
That's interesting.
Got to hand it to him, though. He taking it on the front lines.
He owned up to it. And you know what? Blair Walsh is a very good kicker. For his career, he's 85% on field goals, 96% on extra points. He is devastated by this. There is no doubt about it. But he knows he's going to go on to continue to do better things.
I am, and I'm never going to take any of those for granted. It's very kind that all those people say that stuff, but for me, I'm so confident in my abilities that yesterday is the outlier. Yesterday's the anomaly in my career, and it's, it won't be defined by that kick. And I'll work my tail off to make sure that's the case. And there's been so many times in my career where I have made the big kick, so the yesterday hurt, and it hurt this team and it hurt me. And I'll be able to just move forward. It'll be tough, but I know I can do it.
Hard to do that. I don't know if I could, but he's gonna.
He has to.
He seems like a stand-up guy. I believe in Blair Walsh. I'm getting my jersey. I'm getting my Blair Walsh jersey. Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Well, the social media tide for Blair Walsh appears to be turning. Our social media guru, Nick Peterson, he's been on it all day.
Hey, Jan and Rita. Yeah, we posted Blair Walsh's response to those mean tweets this afternoon on our Facebook page, And within an hour, we got more than 700 likes and nearly 200 comments, and a lot of people were more sympathetic today than yesterday. People like Amy, I was mad when he missed it, but I let my emotions get the best of me. Blair is the only reason we were in this game. People like Joe, it was a full team melt. Claire, not one man carries a burden on a team. Jeff, he's got a lot of supporters out there too. Yeah, he had a bad kick at the worst possible time. We're Vikings fans. We've lived through that before, as have a lot of fans. And then this one was sent right to Dave, a tweet. Ask my kids how often I screw up. It's a team sport. Goalies and kickers get a bad rap. So are you deleting some of those comments you made yesterday? Let us know using the hashtag BTN11. Back to you.
Well, the cool thing about this show is that we want you to join the conversation. Right now, in real time, you can hit us up. See, we got laptops on Twitter, Facebook, however you want to do it. We want to know what you think of the show. You'll see them running on your screen right now. Use that hashtag BTN11 and look for your comments throughout our show.
Chris Rapsky joining us now, and you actually went to talk to the person who arguably knows the team better than anybody, making the call every week, PA.
Paul Allen, yeah, everybody knows him. He's the voice of the Vikes. We went down to the K-Fan Studios, right, to get his take and see what he thought about it. The people calling in, there was genuine depression today. Yeah. I mean, it was like, he was like a psychologist on the radio, right? And he's telling us that he's getting ready to make the call, that the Vikings are going to win, and they're going to go to Arizona, and everybody's going to be happy. It's going to be sunshine. Yeah. And then there's that big kick to the knee, right? So here's PA's take on the whole scenario.
Back to Loserville, USA.
Yes, we are.
Oh, when that ball went in the air, I was like, there you go. Why not us? Why not us?
Yeah, why not us? In fact, I'm concerned you're driving right now, suffering through Vikings and sports-related 7 stages of grief. The thing with the Vikings is when they lose, it generally speaking is not just a normal loss. It's something that smashes your aorta.
Snap good, spot down, Walsh's kick is up, and it is no good, he missed it! Are you kidding me? The season can't end like that! He missed it left! And the Seattle Seahawks are off to Charlotte.
During the stoppage in play, I was so mentally prepared for the home run call. I didn't think the other side was going to happen. I was shocked. I was shocked and flabbergasted.
PA, these guys hurt me worse than any girl ever could. Those critical moments, every Vikings fan kind of goes, with field goal, I mean, I gotta have it, you know?
All of those last-second losses, last play losses that the Vikings have had to endure for decades. Where does this line up, and can you list some of the other ones and how they compare?
So for me, the way things fell apart in 2009, number one with a bullet, not even close. The Favre interception at New Orleans, I never, ever will forget. This is second because beating Seattle is super difficult, and I truly believed what I said on the radio last week. If you beat Seattle, you can go to the Super Bowl. Blair Walsh's miss is part of Vikings immortality, and it just is.
But do you blame the last card in the House of Cards for the loss?
Yes, I do.
So tough critic from the voice of the Vikings, but he said he likes Blair. He likes him as a kicker. He expects to see him back next year because, newsflash, he made 34 field goals this year. That's more than any other kicker in the NFL this year. He made the most field goals.
And let's not forget, he's the only one that made any points in that game yesterday.
Well, that's true. Yeah, and we don't want to defend him. That's a fact.
That's a fact. Yes,
He scored all your points. So what are you going to do? Even PA said there are a number of plays that could have changed the course of the game. Let's not blame it all on the kicker, but you heard him at the end of the piece say, sometimes that last card's all we look at. Yeah. So that's just
history.
how it crumbled.
It's all history looks at, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
You got it.
We'll be right back.
Still ahead.
Ground control to Major Tom.
The local reaction to the death of a legend. What the Current is doing to honor David Bowie, and your reactions.
And you don't need $1 million to look like $1 million. Trends from award season you can adopt into your wardrobe. Breaking the News is back in 3.
David Bowie's life's work, his gift to this world, to me, to you, to all of us, was his art, his music, his movies, and of course, that impeccable style. I was a huge fan of Bowie, not just because he invented music every single time he made it, but because for a misfit and an outcast like me when I was younger, he made me feel like different was okay. In fact, actually, no, that's not right. He made me feel like different was cool. David Bowie mattered to a lot of different people for a lot of different ways, not just to the outcasts, but to everyone, but especially to the folks who made a career in music.
Yeah, we're all like huge Bowie fans around here, and it seems like perfectly natural. I mean, we are David Bowie. The station is, kind of always has been.
Yeah, if the Current had a soundtrack, it probably would be Bowie. That's why they gave 10 hours of their airtime today only to his catalog. But one player on this staff, she was the biggest Bowie fan of all.
I'm just grateful that I get to play the music, and, you know, crying on air, it's not new to me, but I really can't say that I've ever felt like it feels like a family member has died, and the world just feels like a different place.
Mary Lucia knows exactly what Bowie's voice was to the voiceless.
I love the idea that he never let anyone else define who he was.
Ziggy played guitar.
The admiration for anyone who has the guts to just live their life exactly as they want, and to fall out of fashion and fall back and take chances. And it's the most inspiring thing in the world to me.
He was a human, an artist so otherworldly, it's hard for all of us to realize he was not immortal. But if life imitates art, his final work might have been his farewell.
Look up here, I'm in heaven.
That gets me every time to see that video that he just released just 3 days ago.
It's
the
haunting.
first line of that track, "Look up here, I'm in heaven," to tell me that an artist like David Bowie didn't plan it, at a certain time.
Well, that's the beauty about music, though,
Yeah.
Dana, is that different music touches different people, and I love that he had such a profound effect on you and so many of our viewers. I mean, I know you
come
were in
on.
honor of him today. I don't know if we
Oh,
can
you
see
can't
it over
see it.
your little computer there. So
Can you hear me, Major Tom?
we asked what your favorite David Bowie song is and what you remember him for. And Jeannie says she loves the soul songs. Her favorite is John, I'm Only Dancing Again, from the Young American period.
Nice.
Kelly doesn't know any of his songs, but will always remember him from the movie Labyrinth. And Maggie pointed out the same song, it wasn't listed twice on our social media. That is a sign of just how talented he was, she said. So add your favorite song or Bowie memory to our social media. Join the conversation on any topic that we're talking about. Just use the hashtag BTN11, Breaking the News 11.
I
in
can't
case
wait
you
to
didn't
read
catch
all
that.
this. You got it. I was wondering what you were talking about with all this
Right.
BTN business.
All right, still to come. You can't live your whole life behind your phone, bro.
Wow. she
Jennifer
just did it.
Lawrence's scolding of a reporter and some other fun stuff from the Globes. But we're talking pretty people and what they're wearing coming up. Okay, enough football. Well, at least for right now. There were other things happening last night, like the Golden Globes, which has become more about the wacky moments than the actual winners.
Yeah, lots of people talking about my girl, Jennifer Lawrence, calling out a reporter for asking a question while he was on his phone, which is so rude. Good for you, J-Law. I'm all about that, but she looked really good while she did it. But then again, she's J-Law, and she looks really good pretty much doing sleeping, getting dental work done. I don't know. What
Right.
doesn't?
Allie Kaplan, style editor for Minneapolis St. Paul Magazine, joining us now to talk about the fashion hits from last night. And you did see a lot of things that not only were hits, but could be something that we might be adding to our own wardrobes this soon. Right?
Maybe. Modified
Okay.
versions. Don't think we're walking around like Kate Hudson.
Okay.
Probably not showing our
Okay.
nipples. Let's not. Let's keep them covered up.
Not
But
at my age anyway.
Alicia Vikander. Not
Okay.
everybody knows her, but they're going to know her once they see this dress. She knocked it out of the
beautiful.
park. This, to me, why I love this was Louis Vuitton, and this was really one of the freshest looks on there. There were a lot of recycled looks
Yeah.
last night, and this was truly fresh. I loved the pleating. I loved all the little frilly details, and on her back, it was like a crisscross open back. Just lovely. Fit her perfectly.
And white is a new trend.
White was all over the carpet. Taraji was wearing it. So many, Laverne Cox, so many wearing white last night.
All right,
white
who do we have
in the
next?
winter. Jennifer Lawrence, let's go there.
She
looked
there.
gorgeous in Dior, of course. She's got a contract with Dior. Bright red, but I love the cutouts, really unexpected. And this was another big trend last night, cutouts. Right around, right around that midsection. So watch the
young.
cookies. Yes,
She's
Olivia Wilde coming up next.
Olivia Wilde, this is the way to bounce back from having a baby. Every mother wants to be her.
And we hate her.
Yes, she looked like $1 million.
I like her.
Yeah, she looks
Michael
beautiful.
Kors collection. She just was glowing last night. She looked so happy, and that plunging neckline, another big trend last night.
And then Jenna?
Jenna Dewan Tatum, if only she had told her husband to get those bangs out of his face, but she looked fantastic. Again, the plunging neckline, but the big ball gown, and the key thing, pockets.
I love
that
pockets
was the
in a
accessory
dress.
to have. Everyone loves pockets.
Yeah.
You can carry gum, you can have lip gloss, and you have a place to put your hands. Amy Schumer did a lot of that as well.
Love it. And finally, last but not least,
Jennifer Lopez.
J-Lo.
She knows how to work a
Yeah,
carpet.
she does.
The most unexpected part of this was that she was covered up. She looked truly ladylike and glamorous. Capes, another big trend, really unexpected, bright yellow color. I thought she just looked glamorous and amazing.
awesome.
Yeah.
Capes, gonna start wearing them.
Go for it.
All
yes,
right.
it's a trend, definitely. You can do it.
All right, Allie
Cape, poncho.
Kaplan, thank you so much.
You
We
bet.
really appreciate it. We'll be right back.
Hey, y'all, just want to read some of the comments you've been giving us tonight. Thank you so much. Paula says, great start. Love the Bowie shirt. I love it, too. Karen says, I like the new show. You got me to tweet something I never do. Court Box, this is one of Rena and my all-time favorites. My dad loves you, ladies. So dad's watching the show. Dads, this
We're
is
big
a cool
hit with
thing
the
to do.
dads. So people saying they've been waiting for this kind of show. You know, we really appreciate all the kind words. We hope you'll continue to join us using that hashtag BTN11. So we will be here every night. So remember, this is a show about you and what you want to see. So let us know. You can find me on Twitter at RenaCare11.
And you can find me, give me a holler, at Jana Shortle on Twitter. We'll see you back here at 6:30 every weekday. Have a
Whether
good
you
night.
like it or
and
not.
Be nice to each other.